All right. Well, hey, everybody. Grim Green back here today. Thank you so much for joining me. What we're going to be talking about today is this RTA right here. This RTA kind of represents my biggest regret of 2017 because I wish I had set this up sooner. The Pharaoh Mini, just right out of the gate, has been a stellar vape. So good, but in order to get to know this tank just a little bit better, we're going to tear it down from top to bottom. We're going to turn it from Pharaoh Mini into Pharaoh Not So Mini sized. And in order to do all of that, we need to go up close, as we always do. Quick, short, uppy, closey time, and go.
All right, yeehaw. Well, this is the Pharaoh Mini. What we're going to be doing is taking it apart from top to bottom, showing you all the parts, and we're also going to change it into less mini mode using the chimney extension and the longer glass portion that ships along with it. It does come with its own drip tips, comes with the Ultim drip tip, but it is also very goon compatible, and all of my DHD nub tips fit in here so perfectly, flawlessly, and look amazing. Continuing down, here's your top cap that you're going to unscrew to fill up your tank. Big open juice fill holes right there. Then you have a little locking nut right here that kind of keeps the tank all together to ensure that when you unscrew and screw down this top filling portion that you're not accidentally unscrewing anything else in the tank. That little locking nut in there just kind of keeps everything nice and tight together. And they also included this tiny little tool to get your locking nut out of here. In the event that you lose that tool, a flathead screwdriver or even like a penny would work to unscrew this. Once you remove that locking nut, you can take apart the whole tank like this. Glass comes off, chimney comes off, and yeah, there's your deck right there. It's a cool little clamp single coil system in there, and I want to point something out. On the packaging, it says clamp and velocity deck included, but there was no velocity deck in my Pharaoh Mini package at all. This deck does unscrew from here completely. And so I'm assuming you can put a velocity style deck in this base, but mine did not come with a velocity style deck, so all we're going to be using is the clamp deck. And thankfully, I think I would much prefer this clamp deck single coil banger to just another velocity style deck that I've used 1,000 times. This is super easy to use, super easy to install coils on. Let's get that back in the base there. And I'll just demonstrate on this clamp right here because it's not impossible to get your coil back in, but these are spring loaded. You unscrew this, these spring loaded little openings open up, you pop your coil in there, you screw this back down. It's quite easy and quite effortless. And of course, you just make sure that these are cranked down nice and tight. Hold that wire securely. You've also got an adjustable AFC on the bottom that clicks in every position. Right there, click, 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 click. Very nice. Feels very nice and smooth and feels very nice and clicky. I tend to rock mine like I always do, just full open or maybe 1-2 clicks closed. Taking a look at that 510 pin, that is a very stiff, static, protruding 510 pin. That 510 pin leads directly to the base of this deck right here. So what we're going to do before we turn this into the not so mini Pharaoh RTA is I want to make sure that my coils are in fact glowing evenly because I took out that, I opened up that post a little bit, but as you can see, they're all glowing great. So what I'm going to do real quickly right now is just wick it. And let me tell you guys, this is a breeze to wick. You have these two big wick slots that lead right out to the tank. This is where your juice comes in contact with your cotton, and you just put one wick right through the middle, put some cotton down here. It's easy to do, and it wicks like a champion every single time. I just cut off some Japanese organic cotton, pulled it through, wicked it like that. I generally eyeball it, but you can kind of take your scissors and push it down and see that's how much right there. That's about how much wick you need. So we're going to cut it right there and then just make it, even on both sides. Then you just bend your cotton over and kind of stuff it down in here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That is perfect. So let's turn this real quickly into less Pharaoh Mini mode. Let's use this little chimney adapter right here. Screw that down on. And then we're going to use the longer glass on there. Little size comparison between the mini glass right here and the not so mini glass right there. We take the top with the red O-rings facing the glass, and then this just gets this tightened down. And then instead of using the small locking nut here, we're going to use the longer locking nut here, and that drops in and screws down. You can start it with your fingers, and then you can finish it off with the enclosed tool. Just boop, boop, boop. Nice and snug. And that is not so mini Pharaoh sized. And obviously before you put your whole tank together, you do need to juice up your coils and wicks on the inside first. And then your whole tank assembly just screws down. And then once you get it screwed down all the way, you're going to see the whole bottom rotate, and that's what opens up and closes off your juice flow to your wicks. I've never had an issue with this. It glides nice and smoothly, and I just end up leaving mine full open to get the full wicking ability. If you find your Pharaoh Mini leaking a little bit or gurgling a little bit, maybe you didn't put quite enough cotton in there, you can always pull one of these, just close it off a little bit, and limit the amount of juice that's actually getting to your wicks. And you can also close this all the way off when filling it, because when you open this top portion to fill it, you're going to break the seal of the vacuum, and it can sometimes have the tendency to pull some extra juice in there. I don't close off the juice flow every time I fill it, but if you're going to fill this up and your tank is like half full, yeah, it's probably a good idea to just close off that juice flow, open this up, that way you can avoid any possible leaking or gurgling or anything like that. And then you just blip, fill it up. Top cap goes back on, drip tip goes in, boom, you're done. Look at that. It's the Pharaoh Mini in not so mini mode. We're just gonna twist the whole tank and we're gonna reopen that juice flow. Boom, roasted, we're good. Let's get back out to normal view. Let's vape this guy.
So yeah, I've seriously been having just the greatest time with this RTA. It sat and it sat and it sat, and I didn't set it up. It was one of those things like, I gotta get to that. I gotta get to that. I gotta get to that. And when I finally got to that, I regretted not getting to it earlier because it's such a good vape. And like I said in the uppy closey portion, it says on the box it comes with a velocity style deck and a clamp style deck, but mine did not come with a velocity style deck, which is honestly just fine with me because I've used velocity style decks constantly in RTAs, and I think the little single coil clamp system deck is a much better deck for this RTA. It's easy to build, it's easy to wick, it wicks like a champion, it's easy to fill. The fit and finish on this tank from top to bottom, it is just beautiful. All of the threads go together beautifully. Everything that's meant to move moves smoothly. All the threads are smooth. All the drip tips just snap in here with authority, including my favorite DHD nub tips. Yeah, they just snap in like they were made for this tank. And most of all, the flavor on this tank, it is just some of the best flavor I've had in an RTA. And this is only a single coil M-Turk Alien in here, but I get plenty of warm, cloudy, flavorful vapor. I don't think I'm going too far when I say that this is one of the best RTAs I may have ever used. I've got this loaded up right now with SMC Strawberry Monkey Cream from CJ Vaping Monkey, Vapor Venue ECC guy, and it's delicious. It tastes fucking delicious in this tank, dude. The airflow is a little bit on the restricted side, which I really enjoy. It is very smooth, it is very swooshy, and it kind of has that thing that I've talked about in the past, where it feels like you're kind of maybe breathing through a sponge. And I think that I'm honestly the only vapor in the goddamn universe that notices this. But when I do, it's something I can't get out of my head. It's that breathing through a sponge thing. And don't get me wrong, it's not a negative thing. It's not really a negative thing or a positive thing, it's just how the airflow feels. But regardless of whether or not it feels like you're breathing through a sponge, at least the airflow is not turbulent on this. It's not incredibly smooth, but it is not turbulent in any way, and that is awesome. The airflow might be a little bit on the loud side, but honestly, it's not loud enough to bother me. It's certainly not loud enough to make that a deal breaker to where I don't want to use this tank anymore. I kind of just need to stop gushing about this. So, are you going to need your vape budget hands? Not really. I've clicked around all over the internet. I've seen it anywhere from 35 to 40 bucks. Vapor DNA has it for 35 bucks. My Vapor Store has it for about 35 bucks. I found it over on Element Vape for about 33 bucks. So no, you're not really gonna need your vape budget hands. Now, if we're gonna play the Aliens game or the FDA game where they come and literally take all of the vape gear I have and I have nothing left to vape, is the Pharaoh Mini something I would seek out and buy? Yeah, dude. This is a bangin' RTA. I love how effortless it was to set up, to build, to wick, to switch it from mini Pharaoh size to not so mini Pharaoh sized. I just really overall am a huge fan of this RTA. RTA. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. Enough gushing. A few things I didn't mention. Stainless steel anodized aluminum construction, 24 millimeter diameter. It goes from a 2 mil capacity in the mini version to a 5 mil capacity in the not so mini version. Single coil deck, top fill, and yeah, I think that's it. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. It is what it is. It's the Pharaoh Mini RTA. I am just an overall huge fan of this. I think Rip did an amazing job with this, and I think honestly Digiflavor did a great job manufacturing this. So anyway, like I said, I'll throw some links down in the description to where you can check this out if you are interested. But that's what I got for today, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, yeah, dude, let's keep on vaping.
Cool little clamp style deck, single poist.